Hey, so tonight I wanted to continue my kind of chat about releasing our beasts from the chains that we've that we've had them in for so long, and yeah, there's many ways to go about doing this. It's so nice. I'm getting a lot of help from upstairs right now because I was kind of struggling to start or knowing where to start the discussion, and it's just really nice to have that backup when I need it. And this is one of the amazing things that happens when you go beast mode, and they're there for everything in every area of your life. You've got a backup, the best of the best backup in whatever you're putting your beast mode energies into. And it is important to say that the backup is there for you to be the best of your best. So you can trust the best backup when you are aiming for your best. And they're there all the time, by the way. It's just that much easier to be witness to and to tap into that when you are activated beast mode. So getting back to ways to really break out of the chains and to tap into the natural abilities and gifts of this human beingness. Like I said in my last video, crucial step is the aiming for self-sovereignty, which is a quick wrap up of my last video is to shed what is not you, the opinions, the conditioning, the blah 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 of a society that wants to limit you, box you, keep you in a fear mind state, all that kind of thing, the matrix. So aiming for a self-sovereign experience of this life, which is yours, all fancy words aside, it is just you being your authentic self, the way you came into this world, heart activated and in your inner strength to have the healthy boundaries and aiming for your best, to aiming to discover your passions and purpose and goals, going after that in that truth, in that sort of truth manner. So however you want to describe it, whatever resonates for you. In the spiritual community, there is a lot of la-di-da fancy words, and in every community really. You look at the psychological, like the psychologist type community, they'll have a whole range of ways to describe what I'm describing here, but you know, cut to the chase, it's basically, it's you being the happy you. It's you being the happy you, going after what you want to go after, you know, like in the best way possible. Like the best you is discovering the best you. Yeah, so that's beast mode. Because basically, however you're approaching it, whether it is with a spiritual mindset or it's just, I've had enough of the bullshit, I just want to be me, just let me be me, and you come at it from that way. You can come at it from a million different ways, and so I'm trying to like explain it in broad terms, right? Because this beast mode that I'm like describing happens like no matter which way you're coming at it or how you describe it, or like where, yeah, you know what I mean, like whatever you resonate in, basically the goal is the same for everyone, is to be their true authentic self and to discover and realize their dreams, their true self, and you know, actually get there and start doing it. So, you know, and that is basically, you know, when you'll never have to work another day in your life because you are doing what makes you happy all the time. And you've got to a place within yourself that doesn't really matter what's going on around you or what other people or outside sources are like throwing at you, or you know that matrix manipulation, whether it's people or society or whatever. It's not impacting you. You are strong within your beingness of you know you, and you know what you're doing, you enjoy what you're doing, and you've got passions. And that is the self-sovereign life. You've discovered yourself and you have awakened your true self. You are living, speaking, doing you. And that is when automatically you know, this energetic awakening happens. And like I said in my last video, there are some other extras that help in the added awakening, which is the connection to the environment. So it's not only because you can do the you and you're just concentrating on, you know, it's great to feel you and you're doing you and you're self-sovereign, and that's great. But next level energetic movement of our energy centers and connection is to connect with the energies around you. So you've literally got to put your, you know, your focus or your consciousness, you've got to like bond with outside energies. So, you know, a lot with this happens with relationship. Like if you have a beautiful connection with another individual, your energy goes next level with their energy, like something extra happens. So that's one way, and it's a big, love is a big thing. And obviously saying putting your consciousness, so you have to be, it's an awareness. It's awareness of how your beingness is interacting with other energies. So first step is another person, the love you share with someone, that bubble, and you can feel yourself be more, because now it's like you are kind of doubled. You are sharing yourself with another person, and feeling that is so much extra. And that is a big wake up. That's like a gate of awakening, feeling that connection with another person. And then another one is the environment, the earth, animals, like the natural environment. So you can have that next level connection, kind of aha moment with your kind of energy, consciousness interacting with another being the planet, being the planet, trees, like from a bug, like an individual animal, to the planet as a whole. So you becoming aware of your connection and contact, your association, your relationship with that energy, because it's always there, but you becoming aware and feeling that relationship, being conscious, awareness of that relationship, that takes you again next level of awareness and consciousness of your being in a greater capacity, and your constant connection to it. And then next level after that is the more, like the stars, the universe, the galaxy, the infinite. So this is how, it's like our consciousness, our connections, our understanding of our relationship with it all, on all those different levels, from ourselves being self-sovereign and empowered within ourselves, to loving and connecting with another human, and understanding the amazing impact and dynamics that we can have with another individual, how it can take us to a higher level. And then next level is our environment around us, our home, the earth, and our animal cousins, our animal family, our earth family, elemental family. I absolutely, and at this point you actually start having experiences that prove to you that there are other beings around you, elemental or light, or different but earthly beings, and you're a part of it. And then very quickly after that you realize, because your awareness and your consciousness, as it's growing from here to relation to relation to relation to relation, that it is all one, always was one, you were always part of it. Your awareness and your conscious observation and relation and connection to it opens the, you know, the communication. It opens the relationship up. It opens the doorway. It opens, you know, it's like opening the curtains. It's you know, that two-way radio type thing, like you're switching your channel on, like as your awareness, consciousness, beingness is ready to take that in and experience it. When you're ready to experience it, it is there to experience, and you have an experience and the relationship starts. So this is, you know, those steps on unleashing the beast, the next level human, this, you know, the superhuman beingness. And, you know, like people say, it's all in the mind. It is in the mind and the heart. It's being ready to see it and feel it. And you got to get to a place within yourself, you know, obviously before your being can be ready to go to those next levels, whether it's a conscious relationship with another person or, you know, the environment around you. You have to be ready. And that is being at a point within yourself where you know yourself, when you realize, can see your beast. You can finally see your beast. You've stripped enough of that mud or enough of the layers off or whatever, that you can actually realize and see and feel, you know, that true beast within you. And then these other connections start happening, and then the true magic starts. But so, like, to get to this point of the self-realization, the beast mode, the true you, authentic, self-sovereign, you know, that step, because we need that step before we go, you know, next step. So get to that step, igniting the beast, unleashing the beast. Like I've spoken about it before, about a bear in hibernation. Like the Matrix is that aircon that's just been hammering us for so long, like a forced hibernation, and we can't quite wake up. We're just really groggy bears, and it's too cold, and, you know, this winter has just been going on for forever, and we're trying to, like, really trying so hard to wake up, but, like, they just keep putting all this aircon on us and we fall back to sleep. But, you know, it's warming up, and we're all kind of warming up, and this is what happens when the bear warms up enough that it wakes up. It, you know, it gets hungry and it leaves the cave, and that's the unleashing the beast stage, right? When you're cracking out of the Matrix, when you're waking up, becoming woke. So ways to really get that process moving. So, like, yeah, tonight I kind of wanted to talk about our senses, because, like, in my last video I really talked about, you know, the whole the animal thing that we've kind of been ashamed of, and it's kind of been hammered out of us type thing, of our senses and our human body. We've kind of been kept in a mind fear state, and, like, you know, our hearts are being closed off because we're in this fight, flight, freeze type stress state all the time. So our heart can't activate, our clear thinking can't activate, and we're in a constant state of stress. We don't feel safe. So to counteract all that and to become comfortable in our beast, in a safe, so we feel safe in our own bodies, in our own minds, in our own hearts, so we can really truly awaken and release all the toxic shit that, to be honest, it's not ours. Is the simple pleasures, the senses, delighting the senses, the garden of earthly delights. Like, we are in this body, we've been made to feel ashamed of our body and our pleasures, but our senses are really the best, awesome, most amazing tools to feel into our true self. If you really think about it, and it's a beautiful thing, our senses, because it is so easy to know, if you pay attention to your senses, what you like, what brings you pleasure. So, smells, tastes, sounds, we all know immediately what we like and what we don't like. And it's so that our senses is the best way to start rebuilding and remembering who we are. Because let's face it, I had this issue myself. Like, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was like I had buried myself for so long that I didn't know who I was anymore. And so you have to do this rebuilding phase or rediscovering phase. As you're shedding all the shit away, you have to rediscover what brings you joy, what you want to do, what brings you joy, what pleasures your senses. And so literally paying attention to the simple things as pleasuring your senses is an awesome place to awaken your true, awaken your body, awaken the you inside you. So the scents that you love to smell, find and smell them. Tastes, so like with food and drink, like whatever is going in your mouth, enjoy it. And if you get to this point where, like, pay attention to it, you can eat for pleasure. The minute that you don't have the factor, like the yum, like if you're continually putting food in your mouth, like after that, if you're not even tasting it, or you're not paying attention to the flavors anymore, then ask yourself why you're putting that food in your mouth if you're not actually savoring it, if you're not tasting it. That's a really good way to be mindful. So there's so much around that, about what we're putting into our bodies and if we're actually enjoying it or not. Because, you know, it's like the pleasure principle and all that. So, you know, you can really think about that in many different ways, but it's a great tool to catch yourself, to be more aware, and to have gratitude, and to enjoy your senses, like to enjoy taste. Just put your consciousness there. And, you know, that is the power of now. Like, there's so many kind of things around that. But anyway, becoming more mindful. Sounds. So sounds is a big one, because, you know, for example, with music, we know if we hear a noise, whether it's pleasing to our senses or not, if it's a song, whether we like it or not. So this is also like, so that's a really good example of immediate, we know if we like it or not. So pay attention to the immediate body reaction of, I know that I like it, I know that I don't like it. Listen to your body. So this is you getting to trust your bodily reactions of what is for you and what isn't. It's the same with tastes. So trusting, getting to know again what you like and what you don't like, and saying no to what you don't like. The senses are a really great tool to build trust with yourself again, and to realize what you like, what you don't like. And it's okay to say no. Your body's saying, I don't like it, so listen to your body. So the tricky thing with this one is, like, hearing is when you are hearing something like from another person, or from media, or, you know, like you've got this outside noise, or, you know, input, like audio input from whatever source. Like, is that pleasing to your senses or is it not? Becoming aware of that is really important, because, like, for so long we've been, you know, conditioned to just accept stuff that our bodies don't like, and it puts stress on our bodies. We get sick, all this like internal churning happens. So if something is toxic to you, like if it's a song that you don't like on the radio and you just turn it off, like, you can make that choice that is not, like, you don't want to listen to that. Like, this is the type of thing that we have to do with, let's face it, people in our lives. News media, like news, like whatever. If there is just, you know, that one person at work that constantly, you know, seeks you out to just unload bullshit on you, and for a long time you've just been listening to this toxic shit that this person is saying, and you're taking it on board, not saying anything back because you think that's the polite thing to do, type thing. And this is like spewing into your body, that all that toxic shit. You don't want to listen to it, but you're doing it because you think you have to. That is the type of stuff that we have to use our senses and our feelings to realize that I can say no to this, and I should say no to this because my body is screaming at me that I don't want this. That's not good. Like, you know, and these are the big steps that our senses are constantly telling us. Like pain, if we get a scratch and the pain is saying there is a scratch here, so do something about it, our senses are constantly alerting us, anxiety and everything, to things that we don't like, in order to realize that that's not our path. Like, we shouldn't be here. Like, move yourself away from this. Like, I don't like this, turn it off. Like, your body will tell you what you like and what you don't like taste, smell, sound, just like a song. So tapping into your senses and listening to them and trusting them, trusting the reactions of your body, and listening to them and actually doing something about it in order to please your body, please your senses. That is what you need to do. Crucial. Your body is asking you to move away from that kind of shit. So listen to your body and do something about it. Yeah, it's just like staying in that environment is like you're cutting yourself and you're not doing anything about it, but your body's like screaming at you with cuts. That's what it does to your system. So you're effectively damaging yourself by staying in a place that is hurtful to your senses. And this is going to be different for everyone because people like different things. Our senses are all different. From one person to another. Look at music tastes. It's a perfect example. One person likes, this type of music, but not that type of song of that type of music. Like, this is what our senses are. This is how unique we are as individuals, that, a certain thing just won't jibe with us, but in a different area it will, or something. You know what I mean? And this is why, you can't pigeonhole or label anyone. And this is why it is really important to trust our senses and be in the moment and aware of our enjoyment of any experience that we're having. And so this is conscious living, being aware of how we are reacting to our environment, and knowing the importance of you being aware of your environment and how you are reacting to it, like your involvement in it and your ability and responsibility to look after yourself, to know what's right for you and what's not. And so building the trust in our senses and our body reactions is so important. So to do that, the building the trust and being aware of our enjoyment of our senses, like we've got big feelers going out, all our different senses: eyesight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, vibe's a big one, right? Whatever you want to call that, but our vibe, the vibe of the area. You might not be able to put it down to any sound, sight, smell, taste, but the vibe is a sense, and getting to know the vibe, your vibe, what you're vibing with, is massive. Yeah, so this is going beast mode. This is tapping into your animal instincts, right? Your animalistic senses. You need to put, the rabbit ears up, or and or the smell, the sight. You're tapping in to your primal powers in order to start really knowing yourself and to be in your life. I don't want to say control, but it is managing your life from a place of true animal instinct, primal instinct, and gnosis, and trusting the body, trusting yourself. So in all areas we should play with this until we really start tapping in to getting to know it. The vibe is a big one, because it's not like anything solid that you can hold on to or truly know. It's the gnosis, it's the intuition, the vibe of the place, how I'm kind of feeling about this situation. There's just something not right, or I don't know what it is about that person, but not for me. That sort of thing. You can't really put your finger on it. You can't really say it's this or it's that. And so that's the really hard thing about, in this kind of society that we've built for ourselves, the vibe isn't given enough credit. And it's very hard to start trusting because, again, it's on pure instinct, faith in yourself, in your feelings. You've got to have faith in your feelings on the matter, and all it is a feeling, like a gut feeling. But that trust, building the trust in that, in you, is so important. To listen to you, to listen to that vibe of you. You got to build that. You got to build trust in that. So, and becoming aware of it is the first step. So, sensing, feeling more and more builds more awareness, conscious awareness of these feelings. Another one I will throw out there is in the bedroom. So many people, I talked about it in my last video, we're quite sexually still repressed, we're not open. So I'm pretty sure there'd still be a lot of people out there wouldn't even think about having a completely open conversation with their partner, or even a friend about sexually explicit likes, dislikes, when you do that, I actually really don't like it, can you not do that? So many people just put up with stuff because they think they have to. Because it's so awkward to have that conversation. But each time we do this, we're neglecting ourselves and our truth. And why would you continue to do something that you don't like when you can ask for something that you do like, Or you can just flat out say, actually, you know, I don't like it. Yeah, so having enough self-love and like awareness of what you actually like. For example, some people might not even pay attention to whether they actually like it or not. They just do it because they've always done it. So tapping into the senses, so like let's say, you know, in the bedroom, sexually speaking, touch, to literally actually just have a think while you're being touched if it's pleasurable or not, instead of just going through the motions, actually being in the body, experiencing the touch, and asking yourself whether you're actually enjoying it or not. And if you're not, then ask yourself why you are still being touched like that. And, you know, blah 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 blah, like, and these are all the like little things, becoming consciously aware of what touch you like and how you voice your opinion to say, I don't like that, or I like that. Though these are the moments that build the trust and knowledge of who you are and what you want, and to bring you more pleasure and to release what you don't like. So when you release or stop, or, you know, put boundaries up about what you don't like, you've got that much more room for things that you do like. You know what I mean? And your senses are the gateways to these things. Your senses, your body is the feelers to tell you, not that, yes that please, do it like that, yes. Now I'm like 10 times more happy and having 10 times more pleasure each day because I've just become more aware of what I do and don't like. And it's your senses telling you what you do and don't like. So just listen to your body, and do something about it, because it is your life. Who else is going to do anything about it? It is, you know, it is your path. To make changes for yourself, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, kind of just saying to repeat myself there about because it is really true, like when you make room for yourself by saying no to what you don't like, whether it is a job, which is a massive part of your life, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a massive part of your life, whether it is like a friend that is not actually pleasurable for you anymore, but you just keep going because you always have, and that's just what you think that you have to do. When you remove these things from your life, or you put, you know, boundaries in place, or when you become aware that it's just not pleasurable, so you do whatever you have to do to say, I don't like that, make changes, whatever. The amount of room that gives you, room to bring pleasure in, to make your life more enjoyable. Because these things that are constantly irritating to your senses, whether it's a job, a person, you know, or even where you're living, if the sensory experience of where you're living is aggravating to your senses, you know, traffic noise, screaming kids next door, or, you know, like whatever, concrete jungle, you know, like the level of that impacting your senses constantly. Like, you think you have to just put up with that, but if you take those things away and then experience your life after that, it's like you've got all this room. It's like your bubble's just expanded, and rather than being like attacked, sensory attacked, you're like now experiencing, your senses can actually start relaxing and reaching out. Like, your feelers are not like this anymore, because they don't want to touch anything that's going on around you. They're actually now, oh, this is really nice. And your beingness can then expand and actually feel so much more pleasure. And this is when you start having, really experiencing more joy in your life, just by removing the things that are irritating to your senses. Yeah, like, I'm describing that in a really like cut and dry kind of simple way. I know relationships aren't simple, but you know, to be honest, a lot of the time people stay in these relationships and they are irritating to your senses, and yet you stay in the relationship. It's driving you crazy, barely bringing you any pleasure. Why are you there? Why are you there? Ask yourself, if that, whatever it is, a job, a relationship, like, if it is irritating, why are you still rubbing up against it and complaining about it? Your body, you know, listen to your body. If your body doesn't like it, then do something about it. You know, it kind of like sounds really simple. These decisions are really big, and it's extremely terrifying in order to make these big decisions, but cut and dried, it is like that. Your body is screaming at you that you don't like this. So, you know, it's your choice. It's your choice. But, like, you know, if you want this life that I'm talking about, then these are decisions that you have to make. Listen to your body, listen to your senses. They're telling you constantly. So, you know, becoming aware and listening to them. So, yeah, like having the guts to go through uncomfortable situations in order to get to a better place. You know, you got to have that trust in yourself that making this decision, yeah, it's a shit decision to make. It's hard. But my life is going to, my sensory experience of this reality, which is our life, you know, it is my choice. What kind of experience do I want to have? And ask yourself, can you afford not to make the decision to try for a more sensory pleasing experience of reality? Yeah. You know, every time we deny ourselves, it's like another nail in the coffin type thing. Like, every time we deny our experience for comfortableness sake, for another person's comfortable, just to stay in the same pattern or whatever, if we keep denying ourselves over and over and over again, our body knows that. And it shuts down. And our experience of our lives gets less and less. Shallower. We're smothering ourselves by not choosing ourselves. So we really need to get over the fact that choosing yourself is not selfish. We all should be choosing ourselves. And obviously, doing it, we're not all narcissists. Choosing yourself from a heart-centered, this is my life and I need to follow what works for me, what I enjoy. If something is hurting my senses or my body, my heart, my mind, if something is not right for me, if something's not vibing with me, I shouldn't have to experience that. Then it's not for me. If it doesn't feel good, then it's not for me. You know, God is good. Like, it is the yum factor. Like, our pleasure centers are our guide to what is for us, not in a narcissistic way. We're guiding ourselves to the life that we're here to live, like our purpose, our pleasures. Yeah. And I was kind of throw something in about, like, I'm not talking about being completely hedonistic and not thinking about anyone, not having responsibilities, blah blah blah, but like, I would hope that anyone that's watching my videos kind of knows where I'm coming from here, that the person really wants to be the true self, truth. Their good self, their God self, then we don't have to even go there, right? Because we're all coming from the best place possible to get on our true path, the good path. And that is what works for me, will work for everyone around me, because I'm going to be my best me when I've got things working for me. Like, when I'm in a good place, when I'm working for me, I'm the best me. And so the people around me are going to get the best me, the happiest me, the most passionate me, the happiest, energetic, and then I'm sharing my love with everyone around me. It's that vibe that I'm getting at, so don't get me wrong here. Alright, so yeah, tapping into our senses, becoming aware, becoming conscious of them and our reactions, and starting to really trust it is the first, a really big step on the journey. especially the vibe. Yeah, so like I wanted to talk a little bit about what happens when we don't have, or we deny us, our senses, or how important our senses are. Like, for an example, how it can become toxic if we try to bury them or whatever. Like, well, for example, I'll start with how we've been shamed and boxed and told kind of like it's kind of a base instinct, like don't even go there, our passionate expressions and everything like that we should be ashamed of them. And so that's a pretty clear one, that when you try and box something like that, it can't be contained, and like then people start hiding, lying, and it becomes toxic. When we repress, when we deny things, when we think that something's not okay, it gets smothered, but it becomes the volcano that freaking ruins everything. Like, sexuality is a big one here. Like, it has become so toxic that people hide their needs, wants, desires. We can't even have an open conversation with our partner about the majority of people out there. And like if you bury that kind of thing, it can rear its ugly head in some really fucked up ways, and people hiding it and stuff. So I won't go into details there, but sexually speaking, you can kind of see that if you try and cover it up and it's not there, it's still there, and something really dark is going on in order to, like, because they're, yeah, you know what I mean, bubbling away, disgusting. But if our senses and our beast and our sensuality are healthily expressed and trusted, like a big thing is trusting it, because so many of us, like, I think that we still have that shame, guilt thing, and don't trust that it's okay, so people hide it, and it ruins relationships and blah 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 blah. It's like, it's ugly. So that's kind of one way how it goes if you try and hide something. And it's like lying, like not having an honest conversation about something, and years later it comes up and blows up in your face, but you could have just had one conversation and it wouldn't have been an issue, but because you buried it for so long, it ended up ruining your life down the track. It's that kind of thing. So another way to kind of like express what I'm kind of getting at here is like Michael Hutchence. So when he was a very free spirit, sensual person. He was all about the senses and experience, feeling life. Like, I can relate, to that. Yeah, so he was a poet. He was all about the feel of existence. And then he had his accident and he couldn't taste anymore, and it completely fucked him up. I don't think he could smell or taste, so he lost his sense of smell and taste. And when that kind of being, that losing those two senses completely disrupted his experience, his connecting ability with, and his enjoyment in his experience in life. And he all of a sudden, uncharacteristically, was extremely angry, like mood swings, like, you know, his behavior changed and everything. And, you know, all that anger and everything, then his behavior got more extreme, looking for the same level of connection that he previously had, the enjoyment, the pleasure, the sensual senses, the sensual experience with his reality. Like he had to, with his other, he had to go next level in order to try and get the same level of sensuality experience with his reality, which, you know, ended up costing him his life, because he started taking things to the next level in order to try it and get back to the same connectivity. So that's how amazingly important our senses are to us connecting and experiencing our reality. And that's how we can, that's why they're so amazing, the gates to tap into us and tap into our connection with everything around us. So becoming aware and conscious to be in our senses, to be in our senses, to use our senses, to feel our essence. That just popped into my head, like quintessence. So quin is 5, and quintessence is like the ultimate experience of what is it? Kind of it's the ultimate experience of like reality quintessence, and like, yeah, on the alchemical table of symbols, it's in the position of hydrogen. It is like the prima materia, like it is what connects everything, what connects you to everything. It is the everything within everything, which you are connected to, because, yeah. So quin is 5, and essence, so it's like the 5 elements, Lilu, the supreme being. So yeah, so, and that is the vibe. The 5th element, it is the you within the you, within everything. You know what I mean? It's that it's the connection. It is the awareness. It is the conscious awareness of the you in connected to everything. And it's the essence of that. It's consciousness. Awareness. the ether. Yeah, then you're getting into quantum and everything, but basically, you know, there's links with everything, all this in everything. You know, once you have your mind blown open, once your pine cone gets you know, once the pine cone gets fired and opens up and all the seeds released, your DMT, pineal gland, pine cone, yeah, then all the pieces start coming into place. But, you know, basically, your senses are extremely important to get reconnected to this physical fucking existence in a pleasurable way, in a you way, not how someone else wants you to keep going through the motions, the rat race, blah 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 blah. It's you starting to actually enjoy your life and getting tapped in and feeling your senses, hearing, feeling, touching, smelling, tasting, seeing, knowing, vibing. It is becoming the animal, and this is what, as it's going beast mode, it's like actually starting to live and to experience your life. It's the experience. We're here to experience being, doing, feeling. That is what this body is made for. We're feeling machines, like feel your feels until you just like rediscover yourself. It is the perfect tool. It's like you know, like our body is like the perfect instrument. Like whether you know, like a musical instrument, like a tuning, an amp, you know, like an amplifier. And we have to turn, like imagine there's 5 switches, whatever, you know, I know like on amps you've got all the different, what's bass, treble, like whatever. Like where the amp, first you gotta like freaking realize that you're plugged in, switch it on, start feeling. And then we're, you know, adjusting sound, you know, sight, whatever. Like an amp probably doesn't obviously relate to our senses directly, but you know, each one of those knobs on the amplifier is our senses, and we've got to tune them and adjust them to get the perfect resonance, the perfect sound to what suits our particular brand of fucking amplifier. Not what someone else's says that you've got to have it tuned to, which ends up fucking screaming, and they want you to live with that fucking amplifier screaming. No. You've got to adjust it to what suits you. When you become in tune and you've got the perfect volume and the perfect, you know, like whatever word that is for an amplifier, like perfect freaking sound quality to play your song. Yeah, like so adjusting all your senses and listening to them and getting the right tuning of your amp is the first step. And next step is fucking playing your song, your soundtrack to your life on this amp as loud as you fucking want, because it will be perfectly tuned. You can go full loud and hella enjoy it, and it's gonna sound perfect. Perfect. No distortion whatsoever, because you've tuned that bitch like perfect for your song. And no one else can tune it for you, because their senses attuned to their own amp. So you've got to tune your own. And you've got to play your song on your amp. So, you know. Is that about it? Yeah, so the importance of senses and feeling, like interacting with your environment, allowing your senses, your whiskers, your little feelers to reach out. I just got that song in my head. Reach out, touch me. Experience your life, experience yourself. We use our senses to do that. And it's connected to our freaking passion center. Realize what you enjoy and go for it. Follow your feelers. They're telling you where to go. Your senses. It's the feel good vibe. It's the factor. Follow your factor. If it ceases to be find where the is going. The is your magnet. It's the magnet. It's the feel good vibe. Is your magnet. The yummy. It's the yummy. It's the favorite color. It's the that sounds good. That feels good. That is, you know, your magnet. Use that. Your senses are telling you, like the whiskers, the feelers. Your senses are guiding you. Trust it. Your vibe is one of your senses. Start feeling your vibe and start trusting it and allow the vibe. The vibe is like a combination of all your senses. It's like your vibe is the brain of your other senses rolled into one. So all these senses are like the brain center is your vibe, is your intuition. You listen to all your senses, but the vibe is putting all that and what you can't and some little bit extra into the vibe of the situation. So, you know, you hear, you see, you smell, you taste, you know, you feel. And then wrap it all into a nice little averaged vibe of all that. And that, you know, your gut is kind of telling you what the situation is. So, you know, it's really important, like extremely, to start like tapping into that and listening to it. And how can I communicate with this vibe? What is it, you know, what is it really trying to tell me? Yeah, because like, without like completely sounding crazy or tripping you out, but your vibe, like that fifth or whatever, like the quintessence of you, the vibe, the gut instinct of you, that is attached like the umbilicus to your higher self. Like, so that, you know, that's attached to your God self, your higher self, as well as the body. So you're getting the full experience, all the different data, you know, like if all your senses are data entry, your vibe, your gut instinct, your intuition, your gnosis is wrapping all this up, but also it's drawing on the quantum, it's drawing on the Akasha, it's drawing on the higher you, as well as this physical body and the world around you. So the solar plexus, it is the plexus of all your parts. So like that gut instinct is drawing from all angles. It is the sweet spot of the figure eight. It is the middle point of you. So that's why it's so important to start feeling that, tapping into it, to get a trust build up, so it can actually blossom its little tentacles out that much more. It's a really good sense. Yeah. And yeah, so when you get to this beast mode point, your senses become clear senses. So they, it's like being plugged into a higher, that amp being plugged into a higher power point, or like whatever. Your senses have just been able to get a higher range at that point. Yeah. I'll leave it there before I start sounding crazy with going any further with it. But yeah, you see kind of where I'm going with all that. We are human beings. It kind of implies that being, be in your experience. It's your experience. Start being in it. Being it, not doing it or trying it. It's being you. Like that's it's the experience of being a human. It's to feel it. Do something about you being it. Like, it's great. Okay, I'll leave it there.